Okay, here's your homework solutions for the Challenge 5A. Let's see, Ron is a single 24-year-old, opened a new checking account, and we want to look at 2 months of Ron's transactions, and we've got deposit slips and checks. And here's what we're going to be looking for in this assignment. We want to make sure that the transactions are recorded and in chronological order. Payments in the payment column, deposits in the deposit column. The account balance recalculated and displayed. We need to reconcile November and December, and then we want the final to be accurate. If your final balance is $2,718.43, you did it right. Okay. What we're looking to see is things are recorded, your worksheets are good, and your documentation is legible. Also, do your work in pencil except for checks. All right. Let's see what we've got here. So here's Ron's life and Ron's calendar. All right. Here's some things that happen automatically. Okay, if it's automatically, you're not going to see that it happens, and it's just going to be deducted from your bank account. So on the 10th of each month, which is here, and it'll be probably on the Monday because banks don't work on Sundays. We've got a $550 automatic transfer and an $108 automatic transfer. Okay. On the 15th and the 30th, his paycheck gets deposited. Alright, those are all good things. And on the 15th of each month, he has a transfer go on. So on the 15th, we have a transfer, and on the 15th, we have a transfer. Alright, so now we know all about Ron's life. Let's see what his register should have looked like. So what we should have seen here was he opened up the checking account with a $1,000 deposit, and on the 8th, he used his debit card. He chose to mark that as an ATM, wrote who it was to, and it was a payment out of $75.12. All right. On the 10th, what happened on the 10th? He paid his rent and he paid his internet. So on the 10th, he paid his rent and he paid his internet. They did that for us. Let's see what else we've got going on. Well, nothing happened here. On the 15th, he's got his paycheck deposited, and he transfers money to his savings account. So we're going to show that as a and that's going to be on the 15th, and his paycheck is $1,256.67. And on the 15th, he also transfers money. And he's got $200 going out. Okay. If he keeps a running balance, if I add this to this, I come up with all right. And if I subtract 200, good. So, we've taken care of everything that Ron's done or had happen through the 15th. What happens on the 16th? He goes to the ATM and he takes cash out. This is on the 16th. And he's taking out $200. That makes his balance go to nothing happens on the 17th. On the 18th, he buys a computer. So he writes a check to and he's doing this on the 18th. And he writes it for $769.90. And when he subtracts that, he's down to $365.90. Okay. Oh my gosh. From the calendar, we see we had to pay a towing company on the 21st. Oh my gosh. Something happened. Life happened to him. Alright. So on the 21st, this was check 101 since it's a new account. On the 21st, he writes a check to Tom's Towing for $25. What does that take his account to? Now it's down to $340.90. Okay. Well, whatever happened to his car, he must have learned something about. And on the 22nd, he's going to do an electronic transfer, and he's going to put $2,000 more from his savings into his checking. Thank goodness he had money saved. So on 11/22, and I'm going to call it an electronic fund transfer. You can use whatever abbreviation you want because you're the only person who sees this. And I'm going to say that it's a transfer from savings. And since it's going to make his account go up, I'm going to put it right there. All right. And now he's got $2,340.90. You might say, why did he do that? Well, On the 24th, he wrote a down payment for a used car. So whatever happened, he's going to get a different car. And his down payment is going to be $1,500. He's going to do that with check number 103. And how much is this costing him? It's costing him $1,500. And when I subtract when I take away $1,500 from $2,340, I'm left with $840.90. Okay, it's looking like Ron is not having a good month. Okay, but apparently he still likes to eat, so he's going to go back to the grocery store on the 25th. He's using his debit card. He chooses to mark that down as an ATM purchase. And he does that on the 25th. And he's going back to Mickey's Grocery. And he spent $63.58. And when he subtracts that, he's left with $777.32 in his account. Alright. On the 29th, he's going to pay a bill. It means he's going to put a check in the mail, probably. So he's going to write check number 104. And he's going to do that on November 29th. And that's for $135.51. I want to subtract that, and I'm left with $641.81. Alright. Okay, it's the 30th of the month. He's going to get paid. Thank goodness for that. That's going to be a deposit. It's happening electronically. His employer does that for him. It's the 30th. And it goes into this column. Oops. Oh yeah, that's right. Oh gosh, no, that's not right. This is why you do it in pencil. And when I add that together, you've got a you probably did this step differently, but I realized when Ron gets his bank statement, and he maybe would remember this at the time, most people would probably not catch it until their bank statement came in, but since it's chronological, I'm going to do it here, that on the 20th he purchased checks. You've maybe put it someplace else. These are a little bit hard because this is a bank fee, and he told the bank to do it, but a lot of times people don't remember to write it down, and they don't remember it until they get their statement from their bank. Okay, I'm going to stop right here because it's the end of the month. He's gone through November. And he gets his November bank statement. So this is the part that he gets in the mail from the bank, or more likely gets attached as an email. All right, and it is dated November 25th. So that means that the things that happened before November 20, or the things that happened after November 25th, are not necessarily going to be on this statement. Okay, what do I do with this statement? There are 7 steps. So my first step is to say, do I agree with what the bank says happened? So everything everything here, all of this, are things that the bank said happened. All right. So let's see. The bank says that they cashed a check number 1. So I've got check number 1, $756.90. Yep. I wrote it. The bank cashed it. That's accurate. All right. The bank thinks that on the 8th, something happened with my debit card for $75.12. I agree with that. The bank thinks, EFT, electronic fund transfer. The bank thinks that on the 10th, I transferred some funds. Yep, that was my rent payment. So I'm going to go check that off. I agree with it. And on the 10th, there was another funds transfer, so I paid for my cable. So that's going to be $108.75. Right. And the bank thinks that $200 was transferred on the 15th. So on the 15th, I did transfer $200 to savings. I agree with that. And the bank thinks that on the 16th, I took money out. And I did. So these are different. This is money that I took out to go into my savings account. This is money that I took out to put into my pocket. And the bank thinks that they're reminding me that on the 20th I purchased checks. So there it is. And I don't remember that until I get my bank statement. Okay. The bank thinks that on the 6th I deposited $1,000. I did. The bank thinks that on the 15th this amount of money got deposited. It did. There it is. And the bank thinks that on the 22nd, $2,000 more came into the account. So that is correct. Alright. This comes from the bank. This is a worksheet that you make yourself. Alright. My credit union statement ending balance for November is $2,352.95. So this is what my bank says I've got. Okay. Are there deposits that have happened? Are there deposits that have happened that I haven't included? Well, as of today, I've got another paycheck deposited. All right. I can choose to do it as of the 25th. I'm going to choose to do it as of today. So as of today, I've got a paycheck deposited of, and this is a plus $1,256.67. All right. So I think my account has in it $3,609.62. But let's see, the bank hasn't taken into account, the bank doesn't know that this one hasn't cleared yet, so I'm going to write that down. And this is a minus. Let's see, what else does the bank think I haven't had yet? Oh my gosh, the bank hasn't seen this one come through yet. That's a big one. What else have I paid that the bank hasn't seen? Well, there's no check mark here, so the bank hasn't seen this grocery. What else has the bank not seen? The bank didn't see the check that I wrote and put in the mail here. All right. So when I take this number and I subtract from it 25, 1500, 65, and 135, I end up with $1,885.53. And here's my question. Does this agree with what I've got written down in my checking account, in my check register? Yes, it does. Okay. So, my bank and I agree. My bank and I agree. Everything is good. And I have balanced my accounts. This is all good. Okay. That was November. Let's look at December. So life goes on for Ron. And on the 6th, he deposits a check. So when he bought this computer up here, there was a rebate that came with it. So he gets a check in the mail. That's kind of exciting. So this is going to be a deposit. And Ron got that. The calendar says he got it on the 6th. And this is my computer rebate. And I get to deposit 50. Well, deposits go over here. So I get to deposit $50. So I add that, and my deposit becomes, or my balance becomes almost $2,000. Nothing happens here. Well, oh my gosh, on the 10th, I pay these things. In December, the 10th happens to be a Sunday. So that means that things aren't going to, that means that my rent and my cable aren't going to happen right away. So on the 12th, my rent comes through. And that is a payment for $550. And I pay my internet bill. Right. So I have to subtract both of these from my balance. So this comes to 1,385 and 1 Those were electronic fund transfers, and my bills got paid. Okay, on the 14th, Ron is going to go and take money out from his ATM. So on the 14th, and I got cash out, and I took out 200, and that brings it to 1,076.78. On the 15th, I have to remember that my paycheck gets deposited and I transfer money to my savings account. So on the 15th, it's an automatic deposit. And how much does Ron get paid? He gets paid this amount. So that comes over here. And that brings his bank account up to and I also do an electronic funds transfer because I pay myself first. And when I subtract the 200, I've got alright. On the 19th, he's going to renew his magazine subscriptions. And he's going to pay that for with check 105. And he's going to pay $36. That gets subtracted. Alright. Now this is interesting. This month he's got a car loan payment. Well, remember up here, he bought a used car. Now he's got to start making monthly payments on it. He's not set this one up electronically yet, so he's going to write a check and put it in the mail. and he's paying $289.06. And that leaves him available this much in his account. Now remember that if he were to access his account and see what his balance is, it's not going to be this number. This number is what he has available, because he knows that this check is eventually going to clear. He also has a credit card bill that's due on the 22nd, and he's going to write another check for that. And his credit card bill is $131.70. And I subtract that, and I've got now this is kind of interesting because his savings account and his checking account is with Rochester Credit Union, and it looks like he's also gotten a car loan and a credit card from them, and that's not unusual that you can get multiple services from a bank. Okay. He still likes to eat, so on the 23rd he's going to the grocery store. He uses his debit card to pay, and this is the amount. And on the 28th, he pays his utility bill. That's going to be $126.77. And that's check 108. When I subtract that, I've got and then thankfully on the 30th he gets paid again. That's an electronic, or that's a deposit. He deposits so he ends up with a balance of 2718.